What's up guys, it's Daz here, but you don't really care as the new trailer for Pikmin 3DS, A Pikmin, has been released. So, let's hop right into the analysis to see what elements have been revealed. And you're gonna have to excuse my voice for the entirety of this video because of the short notice on having to record this. I haven't actually got my proper setup set up, and so everything's a little bit different and my voice is a lot less higher quality than it usually is. I apologise. I'd either record this now and make do with what we've got or wait until Wednesday next week. There really isn't much of another choice. This is also why I'm talking, because this microphone that I'm using is so sensitive that if I talk any louder it's gonna beep like crazy and sound terrible. Sorry again, but this is how we're gonna have to do things. So starting off, before the trailer even starts, we get to see a bullet point style list of headlines, which in this case actually reveals a little more than the trailer alone. The SS Dolphin 2 crash lands on Nintendo 3DS. This simple sentence actually confirms this game takes place after Pikmin 3, as before this point, Anima only ever has the SS Dolphin 1 and the company ship. Therefore, for Anima to have the SS Dolphin 2, Anima would have to have left the Pikmin planet after Pikmin 3 and returned to Hocketate to upgrade his ship. But why? I've had a theory for this for months now, but we'll see if it lines up later. So the first shot we see is the SS Dolphin 2 flying through space, reminiscent of the beginning of Pikmin 1. And in case you didn't know, this game's in 2D. Now, actually looking at the design of the ship, we can actually see its design is a hybrid of the SS Dolphin 1 and the company ship. Aesthetically, it's mostly the Dolphin, which makes a lot of sense. The colour scheme's the same, the trumpet heads on the side are similar to those of the original Dolphin, but the tip of the ship borrows from the company ship in how it detaches to become a separate floating head. This can be seen from the original trailer, and although the original Dolphin did have a slightly separate head, it could only simply change angle. It always stayed attached to the full ship. It's not much, but I thought I'd point out the difference. And looking at the cockpit, we can see there's only one for a pilot, so no co-op Louis gameplay. But that makes sense. If you're out of the know, I'll explain later. Once again, similar to the first game, Anima faces another meteor-based issue, but this new angle on the ship also shows more trumpet exhausts and satellites, again similar to the SS Dolphin 1. And now we can see more of the opening cutscene. I really like how 3D this cutscene actually is. I don't know what I was expecting, but it's nice to see the 2D platformer have proper cutscenes, even if it's the only one. Anyway, note that the onion is in its united, blended version from Pikmin 3, again showing this game takes place latest in the timeline. Not that there's ever been a warp in time, but hey. Oddly enough, we can see a clump of Pikmin in the centre of the field bouncing at once. Perhaps the cutscene begins more zoomed in on those Pikmin interacting in some manner, before zooming out to watch them react while nearby Pikmin not part of the close-up shot run in fear of the crashing ship. Also, the background of this cutscene looks reminiscent of the Garden of Hope from Pikmin 3. It looks like we can see part of the large flower pots in the area, as well as the general plume of flowers scattered around. This makes sense since the theme seems to be sticking around when looking at the first trailer. Blue, yellow, red, grey, pink. All 5 Pikmin available from the start of the game, it seems. Apparently other people can see purple and white in there, though that could be the transitions between colours in the blending. If normal people are struggling with the colours, I'm not even going to try to comment with my colourblind eyes. Thankfully, the ship doesn't split into 30 pieces while falling to the sky, and judging by the gameplay, doesn't when it impacts either. Anima must have prepared his ship specially. Skipping ahead to gameplay, we can see we're somewhat underground, judging by the nuts and bolts and soil. It also looks like there's some kind of nest in the background too. Anyway, Anima has red Pikmin only and is pushing through a simple scale puzzle. This is also the first time we see scales in the game. There's also a pile of leaves up top here. This could either be something for Pikmin to scrounge through, collect, or maybe just be hiding more Pikmin. And now to blue Pikmin, who all have buds, so something beyond nectar is probably beefing them up, if they haven't been found like that. This also brings up a point that every clump of Pikmin we ever see in the 2 trailers always have the same level of upgrade. They all are either leaves, flowers, or buds. There's never a diversity between them. We can also see more of the golden acorn collectibles from the first trailer. We can also see a new enemy, except it's actually not. We actually already saw this in the first trailer. This is the guy who shoots upwards and acts as a massive barrier to block your path. When pausing the movement, in the first trailer, we can see the slug-like eyes they have. And with yellow Pikmin, we can unsurprisingly see we're in the same area as the last trailer with yellow Pikmin. The texture of the background is the same. Anyway, here's some new enemies, electric slugs of some type. Hitting them with Pikmin will discharge some electricity and emit some light. And I expect only yellow Pikmin can survive it, or only yellows make it discharge. Anyway, this is important to the level as the light reacts with the luminous stemples in the bottom right. The light makes them bloom and opens the path for you. Next we can see that rock Pikmin are now accessible to us, and this area is likely where we're introduced to them, as there's a strong theme of crystals, just like in Pikmin 3, and rock Pikmin are just crystallized Pikmin anyway. This also suggests that we reach red Pikmin first too. I doubt that Anima will be given all 3 primary Pikmin right at the start. Anyway, rock Pikmin can be used to smash through crystal walls in your path. Pikmin can build bridges. Oh wait, this is actually a little more to the right from the first trailer. Shame it doesn't reveal anything new. Here's the new stuff. So firstly, new enemy. These guys are some kind of flying beetle with spikes on the bottom and flowers on the top, so they are only vulnerable to damage from above. Pink and yellow Pikmin are your best choice here. Speaking of, winged Pikmin also make an appearance, presumably used for much more vertical puzzles. In this case, they seem to be slowing Anima's fall. We can also see there's a more valuable and large acorn collectible. Finally, we can also see the jetpack logo is flared, indicating the player is using it in some capacity. And actually, in the final frame, it looks like Anima starts moving up. Maybe he's just about to start a new animation where he uses the jetpack more strongly than relying on the winged Pikmin. This makes sense as he'll need to have the Pikmin available for the new enemy ambushing them below. Or Anima glitched and they're cutting away. Who knows? Next shot, we can full on see Anima using the jetpack to float high. We can also see a fuel meter showing how long Anima can fly. Oddly, the jetpack logo hasn't changed. Anyway, Anima reaches a ring. Treasures are back. Not that we didn't know that before. Though, Anima takes out something else from the treasure. Maybe some kind of tracker? Perhaps Anima was looking for a signal and was led here? The Pikmin will still need to manually carry the ring to the ship though. Thankfully they can climb and be thrown from the ledge on the left. And back to the yellow area. The doorway is the same as the one we saw in the last trailer showing reds and yellows. We can also now see rocks are around here. Perhaps the order of finding Pikmin is reds, then rocks, then yellows, same as Pikmin 3. In this clip we can also briefly see yellow Pikmin are here too. The Pikmin are gathering to carry a pair of scissors, and the effort is represented by dots, like everything else. In this case 12 Pikmin are needed. Again, the jetpack logo is flared strangely. Next up, we're into a new boss fight. This also shows us the full screen of the game. We can see the boss's health in the top right hand corner, as well as Anima's health in the top left, and how many Pikmin there are in the top center. Interestingly, it doesn't show how many golden collectibles have been collected, as we will see later at the top of the screen. As for the boss itself, it seems to be a relative of the eel from earlier, as it has the same traits of being a purple shooty outy thing. Though it doesn't seem to have eyes, it does have fluffy antennae. Unlike the previous enemy eel, this one specifically aims at Pikmin rather than just bouncing upwards. And in case you didn't notice, the entire battle is completely underwater, completely new for the Pikmin franchise. And here's another one, a fiery blowhog, a big one. Why are the old enemies so big? Who knows? Anyway, something interesting to note is Anima's health bar. It's actually gone from 4 to 5, and later we see him with 3. So there seems to be some kind of upgrade system for Anima, maybe even from these boss fights specifically. Anyway, this clip also shows us that bomb rocks reappear, and once again, all Pikmin types can carry them. And also, they can be managed as separate types of Pikmin. Presumably the bomb rocks are vital to defeating the blowhog. Also, his fire fires much more slowly than previous games. Makes sense. And back to the Bulbob boss fight. Now, Ollie only has 3 health bars and 12 Pikmin, which is grayed out more than the white 20 we saw earlier. It may even go red when below 5. And here's the Bulbob animation for eating a Pikmin. Still not as gruesome as the Pikmin short. Back to the crystallized level, we can see another form of the HUD at the top of the screen. Less specialized for boss fights, we can see the golden collectible counter as well as the 3 bubbles for the 3 treasures in the level. And we're also for some reason falling through a crystal hallway. Hey Pikmin will be available July 28th, alongside a brand new Pikmin amiibo. This one will grant you more backup Pikmin. Here's the introduction to the red Pikmin again, and possibly the winged Pikmin with the new yellow bird enemy. And there's a pumpkin in the background here, reminds me of the Wistful Wild area. Also the leaf saves the Pikmin's lives as it blinds the enemy, though it acts like a baby so maybe it's not really a threat, just shows how weak the Pikmin are alone. And here's a yellow Pikmin cutscene, again scared over a baby that looks to be a very young breadbug relative. And that's the end of the trailer for Hey Pikmin! Now that the gameplay analysis is over, let's talk about the actual plot, so listen to this.
They'll explore the planet secret by secret to find thousands of sparklium seeds and treasure to refuel his ship.
So this tells us that the golden acorns are supposedly sparkium seeds, and the treasure is needed to fuel his ship. I guess the SS Dolphin 2 has some melting functionality? Either way, this tells us a chunk of how the story will pan out, as it seems Anima must once again survive on the planet and refuel his ship to escape. Also, in regards to the refueling thing, it could be possible that the larger red sparkium seeds simply just get more fuel, or perhaps they are specifically needed for Anima's jetpack. Anyway, that can't be all there is to it story-wise. because unless the game wanted to keep the story overly simplistic and a little illogical, there has to be some sort of reason for why Anima would come back. He must have some kind of goal at the start of the game, even if he ends up just trying to survive. There are two reasons I see Anima wanting to return to the planet. The first is that Hocketate Freight is in debt again, as it is said that has become another problem during Pikmin 3, and it seems pretty clear that this game comes after that. Or Anima has returned to rescue Louis, who was left behind at the end of Pikmin 3. The only other thing I can imagine is Anima simply returned because he wanted to, but that seems like poor writing to me. Either way, this makes sense for how the gameplay will pan out, as Anima will need to explore and search for the planet for both treasure and seeds to survive, as well as the end goal of either gathering more Pokos or finding Louis himself. End with a supermassive boss fight and boom, game done, or at least that's what I'm expecting. Anyway, unfortunately, not much else is left to say about the game for now, since there's really nothing else revealed. That being said, I will use the time to announce that since the July 28th release date has been revealed, I will also announce that I will be Let's Playing this game from day one, similar to how I did with Pikmin 3, so be sure to remember me for when the time comes. That'll be uploaded over on my Let's Play channel, Daz Let's Plays, and if you want to keep updated with me and content, follow me on Twitter at DazVideos. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to end it off here. Now we wait for a Pikmin 4 trailer at E3. I can dream. Anyway, for now, my name's been Daz. You didn't really care, and I'll see you in a bit. And hopefully you didn't mind the change in voice. Not only am I in a completely different context to usual, but I also have a terribly blocked up nose. Do excuse me. Anyway, I'm off.